Welcome guys to our Hillula of the Hakadosh. Today is the 5th of Av, the day that the Anak Sheba Anakim, Moreno Rabbeinu Ateret Roshenu, Rabbeinu Ha'ari, Rabbeinu Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, Zechutei Yageh Aleinu, Amen.
Amen.
Today is his passing, and we know on the days of the Hillula of the Tzaddik. What does the word Hillula mean? Hillula means a wedding. Lehalel, to make, that's Hillula, to make a party. Comes to make a party. Down here we might be sad that we lost the tzaddik, but in Shamayim they're very happy that they got the tzaddik went up in Madargato from his level. And it says from the name of the tzaddikim, from the Ari himself, there's a couple of times in a month, in a year, that the tzaddik comes down with all of his neshama. He comes down back to this world, specifically more powerfully on his grave. One day, that's the lowest of the days, is Erev Shabbat. Every Erev Shabbat, the Nishamot come down on their grave.
And the 15th.
That means if a person wants to pray by somebody's kever, Erev Shabbat would be a good time to do that. Most of the person's Nishama comes back down to hover on the grave, on the tombstone. That's why it's called a tziyun. Any person really, any person that has a zchut, every Friday.
Until
Until Tehiyat HaMedim. The Baba Sali Hakadosh, when they asked him, why don't you move to Eretz Yisrael, he was mitlabet. He was fighting with himself a long time. Should he move to Israel? Should he not move to Israel? At the end he moved. It took him a long time. And he said, the graves of our ancestors in Morocco, they want us to stay. Because we daven over there every Erev Shabbat, and the tzaddikim want us to come, that our ancestors want us to come visit them. It's a very big, it feels very good for the soul every time a relative comes to his grave. Because he's there. He's there, and he wants you to come. That's why some tzaddikim, they were makpid not to be buried very far away from their families. They want to be buried next to their families so they can come and visit them. Also, the Ari tells us, it's written in Minchat Yehuda, that people, it's a nachat ruach for the neshama to be buried in a place where he knows, where he knows. In the place that he lived. He's familiar with it. Why? The neshama, we're going to maybe talk about it today from the Ari Hakadosh, because we're talking about the Ari. A part of your soul that you get from your mother, it's called nefesh shebenefesh. The nefesh of your nefesh that you get from your mother, that part hovers on top of the grave until Tehiyat HaMetim. The nefesh shebenefesh mitzad ha'aba, from the Abba side, that stays on the bones. It stays on the bones until Tehiyat HaMetim, and with that part, he wakes up in Tehiyat HaMetim. Now that part of the nefesh of a nefesh mitzad ha'aba from your father's side, it feeds off Seudah Revi'it. It only could eat one time a week on Seudah Revi'it. On Seudah Revi'it. It's a very high level time, Seudah Revi'it. A person who's not makpid in Seudah Revi'it is chaval al hazman. The loose bone is that's the source. Right. So, Mizunot is something. It's something. I didn't say it doesn't count. It's something. Yeah, it's something.
That's Revi'it.
That's Seudah Revi'it, yeah. A person who misses Seudah Shalishit, Vapsheh, he doesn't get into the counting. He doesn't get into the counting even. Mazeh. How do you miss Seudah Shalishit? That's the problem. That's the problem. So anyways, we were talking about the nefesh. So when the first time is Erev Shabbat, says the Ari. The second time that the neshama rests on the grave in more of a revealed state, comes down, is on the 15th day of the month. Every 15th day of the month, it's Rosh Chodesh in Shamayim. It's Rosh Chodesh in Shamayim. Every 15th day of the month. 15.
Jewish calendar.
Yeah, obviously Jewish calendar. Today somebody texted me, what should I write on my grandfather's tombstone? What should be written? Not what should I write, what should be written? He told me what they wrote on the grandfather's tombstone. And they wrote over there the English date. And I told him, the Fia saw that even according to Rabbi Yosef, you're not allowed to put an English date on the tombstone. Asur. Because you're counting from JC. It has a pegama, the neshama. You're making a pegama, huh? No, only Hebrew. Only Hebrew. Huh? No, only Hebrew date you should put. Only. A person should be makpid for himself when you write your tzava. Don't just write where your money is going. Think about yourself too over there. Without pictures, forget about it. Asur.
Really?
To put the pictures on the grave. Not good at all. If you already put it, yes, al mali smoke. If he already put it.
If he asks, I want to see the.
If he's asking, you don't have to listen to him because you now let listen to a person if he wants to do bad for himself. If a person comes to you and says, "Give me a cigarette," you have to give it to him.
Rabbi,
Of course not. Yeah.
Can you do a QR code?
A QR code.
Scan it and then you know.
Or maybe you could do
actually
that.
not a
That's
bad
actually
idea.
not a
It's
bad
not a bad
idea.
idea at
QR code. Maybe in the future that's what they're gonna do. Digital cemeteries.
It's an amazing idea.
Anyways, let's go back to the thing. So that's the 15th day of the month. The third time that a neshama is revealed in this world, that's the highest level, is Avraham. It's Erev Rosh Chodesh. That's why we always go to the Lubavitch to make the tikkun on Erev Rosh Chodesh. That's the highest level. Every Erev Rosh Chodesh.
Why is Erev Rosh Chodesh higher than Rosh Chodesh itself?
What about Rosh Chodesh? How about Shabbat? On Rosh Chodesh and Shabbat, the Ari reveals the Nishamot go up. They don't come and they don't stay on the grave. Why? Every Rosh Chodesh and every Shabbat, the Zohar says, there is an Asefa in Shamayim. Asefa means a gathering. And all the Nishamot that have the Zechut, they have passes to get inside the yeshiva. The yeshiva of Matat. Memtet Sarapanim. Sarapnim, actually, is the real way to say it. They have passes to go in there and they can learn. Whoever has the Zechut. Whoever doesn't have a Zechut, like Eliyahu Navi, there were a couple of times in the Zohar where he didn't have the Zechut to come to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's class. A couple of times he didn't have the Zechut, and it says in the Zohar, how come he didn't have the Zechut? But the last time that the Neshama is really revealed on the grave, that Mamash, like he's down there with all of his parts, that even the Tzaddikim, big Tzaddikim, they make a Yichudim meditation on the grave, and they're able to speak with the Tzaddik. Ask him questions, this, that, and with the Tzaddik. That's on his Hillula. On his Yort side. On the Yort side, now, what are you gonna do if you cannot go to the Tzaddik's grave? You should know one thing, Rabotai.
Come to the shul.
It's those people who go to the Tzaddik's grave, very nice. But let's say you go to the Tzaddik's grave, you never learned his work. You never did anything of his. You have no connection to him, but you come, you heard he's a Tzaddik. You come to him, yeah. And his Zechut is going to give you a bracha. But you, who learned his Torah, who heard his Ma'amarim, who every Monday you hear his Chidushim, and you follow him, his Minhagim. Trust me, you don't have to be in his Tziyun to get his Beracha. Where you could be in the farthest place of the world, but he's going to come and give you a Beracha. How do I know this? From Rav Chaim Sinwani, the Rebbe of Mordechai Sharabi, for some time. He used to say, I don't go to cemeteries, I don't need to. I do the Yichudim from my house and I connect to them. Like this he used to say. Like this Rav Chaim Sinwani used to say, he was Rosh Lamed Lav Tzadikim. So therefore today, we all sitting over here, I have no doubt that everybody who's Mishtatef in this Hillula, the Zechut of the Ari Hakadosh, and also people who are listening. And especially if you put in money for the sponsorships. All of you guys have a Zechut in the Ari Hakadosh. All of you guys have a lot of beracha. We'll have a lot of hatzlacha. So I just want to say the sponsors first. First and foremost to Yisrael ben Asher and Simcha ben Reuven and their families. They give for the whole year for the shiurim. Hashem should bless them with bracha, hatzlacha, parnasa, refuah, shogdo, also refuah shlema. Sion ben Sarah and Reuven ben Shoshana. Hashem send them a fast refuah shlema. Also, I wanted to say that our shiur sponsor for Leida Kala for Chava Bat Angela and for Zivug Agun Lerachman Arizal Ben Adina Bracha. Hashem to send him a Zivug very quickly. Huh? It's only the names are only for the people who for the shiur. But we'll say the Hashkava at the end. Yeah. And also, I want to say for all the anonymous sponsors, we send them a lot of bracha v'atzlacha to Ariel Ben Miriam. That's the guy that you guys were texting with in the chat over there. Hashem should send them a lot of bracha in his business with Hashem. Banim Zecharim, Yishol Gedolo. All the anonymous sponsors, we send them bracha v'atzlacha. May you have a quick and easy process. B'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. Hashem should send us all bracha v'atzlacha. Yishol, may we be zocheh to sit in the mechitza of the Ari Hakadosh in Olam Haba. What more could you wish for? What more is there? There's only one problem. I don't think there's any schnapps over there. We're gonna bring the schnapps. Spiritual schnapps. There is food in Shamayim, you know that, right? There's food. Rav Chaim Vital, when Rav Chaim Vital is the Ari student. The Ari came to this world only to teach Rav Chaim Vital. The Ari teaches there's three kinds of people who are born to this world. First person who's born, it's for sure he's gonna do Averot. For sure. That's a person who's reincarnated because he did Averot already. Every Averot, let's say today was Monday. Yeah, today in the morning was Monday. Right now it's Tuesday. Let's say today was Monday, you had a test. I don't know, a test in stealing. You could have made a deal with the guy. You could have put another $300 in the deal, and he wouldn't have known better. You should know that day, which is the 4th of Av, last lifetime, and that age of your life, you had the same test. Everything is a mirror. That means last reincarnation, at this time of your life, you were hearing the Shiur Torah. And the test that you have right now, maybe to stay till the end, to doze off, not to listen, not to pay attention, you're going to see the same test you have right now. The tefillah that you're going to pray tomorrow morning is the same tefillah that you prayed in the last reincarnation, at the same age, at the same time. And you're going to have the same test, to pay attention in tefillah, not to pay attention. There's a people who take their work to their tefillah, then there's people who take their tefillah to their work. What do I mean? Some person, he comes to pray, but all he thinks about is his work. Some person, he goes to work, but all he's doing is praying to Hashem. It all depends how you look at things in life. So therefore, that's not today, it's not a shiur on tefillah. I'm bringing it up just to give you a little taste. Talking about the Ari Hakadosh today. Now, the next person who comes to this world, it's very probable he's not going to do an Avera. Very little Averot he's going to do. If he does, very rare. What? A person who comes to this world only to fix a mitzvah that he didn't do, says the Ari. Let's say he didn't do Brit. Let's say he didn't do Pidyon Petar Hamor. Let's say he didn't do, I don't know, Tumot Masrot. Let's say he didn't, there was a mitzvah from the Torah to build the Beit HaMikdash, right? It's a mitzvah. When King Solomon built the Beit HaMikdash, all the Jews that were able, they had to come and contribute their physical labor to build the Beit HaMikdash. That's why they say the Western Wall was never destroyed. It was the only wall that the only Jews built. All the other walls he hired workers to build. But the Western Wall, the Jews themselves come to build it. That was the Western Wall. Now, so the Rav Eliyahu Mani says, these days, how are you going to fulfill that mitzvah? How are you going to fulfill it? By learning the mitzvah? You're fulfilling the mitzvah just b'dibur. But you have to fulfill the mitzvah b'maaseh. How do you fulfill the mitzvah b'maaseh?
Do it.
How are you going to do it? There's no Beit HaMikdash.
Build a shul.
Let's say you hear that somebody's building a shul. When you contribute to building the shul, you have to say, L'shem Yehu B'shar B'rosh Chidei Hareini Mikayem Mitzvah Livnot Beit Mikdash Me'at. And Rav Eliyahu Mani said, it's your Mekayim building a Beit HaMikdash. Yeah, they say, but there's a midrash, when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, a stone from all the Beit HaMikdash went out to four corners of the world. Wherever the stone fell, that was the Beit HaMikdash. There's a midrash, there's a famous midrash like that. And it's there.
It's coming in.
It's coming in. No, of course, if we're davening over here, it's not going to be a story. It's a It's on the way. You want a bigger stone you're talking about. But speak like that. There's a stone falling over here. You want the diamonds. It says, "B'samti kot kodshim shotayim." In the future, the gates of Yerushalayim will be made out of stone, out of diamonds and kotkot, special kind of stone. Anyways, the third person who's born to this world, he's never going to do an Avera, says the Ari. Who is this person? A person who's born to this world to teach Torah to other people. For example, the Ari Hakadosh said, how old was he when he passed away? 38 years old. He was very young, 38 years old. It's our age he was. Could you imagine? At our age, he was speaking to Eliyahu Hanavi. If you see some of the stuff he used to do in Shara Hakadosh, you're going to cry just from the fact that we had this kind of person in this world. He would look at you and tell you who you were, what you did, what you're going to do, what Torah you have to learn. Mamash, like a book. He would tell you what you learned last night when you went to sleep in Shamayim. Things that people... They don't exist, these things anymore. Even if they do, it's very on a very small, minute level. Not compared to the Ari, he would tell you, there's something called Sichat Dekalim. You know what Sichat Dekalim? When the wind blows in the trees, the leaves make a sound. The Ari knew how to read what they're saying. The trees are saying when they go in the wind. That's called Sichat Dekalim. It's saying that you can't. He knew to know how to read and to listen to the words of the animals. The animals, there's a famous story in the Ari Hakadosh. Yeah, it's
same like the lady speaking with the flowers.
I never saw that one, but I have no idea what it is.
saw that.
You saw, lady, maybe she's... No, the Ari used to listen. She's saying she's speaking to the flower. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know, maybe, could be. Listen, but first of all, we have in the Ketouret every day, it says when you water the flowers, when you do something, you have to speak to it. You have to say, Hatev edek, hetev adek. When you speak to it, you're giving power to it. But some people know how to hear what the flower is saying back to them. That was the Ari Hakadosh. Now, there was a story about the Ari Hakadosh, Morin Rabbeinu Ari. One time, he was learning Torah with his chevre. And suddenly two crows.
Chorny
crows. Varona. Come on, man. Two Varona came along on the tree, crowing. He looks at them and says, Rasha! Oh, man. Rashaim! Get out of here! Rav Chaim Vital, now what the Ari told Rav Chaim Vital, I came to this world only to teach you Torah. If you're not willing to learn from me Torah, I have nothing to do here. I'm going to go. I'm going to die. That's what he told him. So he told him, anything you ask me, I have to answer you. Because I came to this world only for you. So if you tell me to teach you this, teach you that, teach you this, I got to teach you. So he said, Rebbe, tell me, why did you tell those crows, get out, Rishaim? Because you know who those crows were? Gilgulim. It's a true story of Balak and Bilam. They came to the Ari in Bur. They came Balak ben Tzipor.
Yeah,
they came to the Ari to ask for a tikkun, and he tell them, "Get out! I want to make you tikkun." Would you imagine your thing? You know why? Also, to you happens these things, just in a different level. Any person who's shomer Torah and mitzvot, for example, a rasha. Person who eats, he doesn't keep Torah. Maybe out of ignorance he doesn't keep. Who knows? He eats shrimps, lobsters, all the things that walk on the earth. Yeah. He wants to try dog meat. I have a student like that. He went to Korea just to try how they make over there delicatessen dog meat. He wanted to try it. He wanted to see what it tastes like. He said, what did it taste like at the end?
Chicken.
I don't even remember. He said, what are you gonna taste over there? These kind of people, Hashem doesn't send them nishamot. Listen over here, Tzaddik. He doesn't send them nishamot to be fixed. Why would Hashem send a nishama to a person who doesn't fix it? You understand? Who does Hashem send those nishamot to be fixed for? To you. And your food. That food that you wear, that you go to the store and you pick it, that was specifically hand-picked for you to say a beracha. How much that neshama inside that apple that you had this morning is waiting for you to say a beracha? You have no idea. Of course. Do you know, the Ari says something scary. I don't know whether to reveal it to you or not. Should I reveal it?
Yes.
I'm going to reveal it. You're not going to want me to reveal it. It's scary. It's scary.
We'll have that first.
What trust you? What?
Say it.
It says over here,
I saw
the
that.
Ari Hakadosh. Remember I taught you guys the kavanah, sim chelkeinu imahem? Remember I taught you guys the kavanah? when you daven, when you say Sim Chelken, Ala Tzadikim, Ala Chasidim, V'Sim Chelken, put our portion with them. With who? Sometimes we do averot, we lose our olam haba, our chelek hatov. We ask Hashem to give our tov to a tzaddik that doesn't want to enjoy from anybody's thing, and he'll return it to us when we do exactly. The Ari Hakadosh says, you see, the olam needs to get to a tikkun. It needs to. All that you see in this world, democracy, communism, that people rise up, we want a better life, we want to be better, we want better laws. All this is from the want in a human being to be better. He wants to live a better life. He wants to be good. That's why I hate all the conspiracy theories. They believe the world is evil. Everybody's out to get you. Everybody's out to destroy you. Everybody's like, it's wrong. That's not what the Ari teaches us. The world is out there to be good. We want to be good. We want to be a good social beings. Yeah, we want to communicate. We want people to have a good life. We don't want it to be poorness. We don't want it to be people to be sick. So Ari Hakadosh says, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. So the Ari Hakadosh says, to get to that part will take 6,000 years. Whether we like it or not, the world will get there. That you see right now, Corona, this, that, prices are rising. All these things, if you learn history, leads to what? A bubble. It's gonna burst. People are gonna be like, we're fed up with this. We want change. How come in America it never goes Democratic president, Democratic, Republican, it never goes Democratic, Republican. People are sick and tired of the old thing. They want change. There's never such a kind of thing. Democratic, never such a kind of thing. It's always change going on. It's always change. People want change in life. You understand? Yeah. Well, listen, a little bit Chadashot. Everything is Torah. The way, if you look at it the right way. So the Ari Hakadosh says, to get to that good, it doesn't depend on inflation. It doesn't depend on high crime rates. You know what it depends on? You're never going to believe what the Ari says. When you wake up in the morning, you Yehudi, wake up in the morning for Shacharit, and you come to shul and you daven Shacharit early, you don't know what rests on the Shacharit. You guys don't know what Shacharit is. You guys have no idea what Shacharit is. When you come to pray Shacharit, you cause all the crime in your Sviva not to happen. It's as simple as that. You have no idea. You guys we used to thinking in macro terms. Everything is macro. Yeah. I have to go on Instagram. I have to show myself. I have to talk. People have to know me. I have to have 10,000 followers. That's not what the Ari Hakadosh teaches us. The Ari teaches us, I'm going to read you right now. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I'm learning Shar Man Umad right now. Everything gets fixed in the Jew's thoughts. In a Jew's thoughts. Not even in our speech. The speech is just the result of what our thought was. Do you understand? It's called b'machshava yitbaril kula. In the machshava, everything was mitbarer. In our machshava is chokhmah. Chokhmah techaye ba'aleha. What's chokhmah? It's the Torah Kedosha itself. It's a tefillah. And everything in tefillah, we have either chokhmah and bina. Abba, ima, chokhmah, bina. Torah, tefillah. Tefillin shel Rashi, tefillin de Rabbeinu Tam. Shmona Yisrael and Shema. We have to learn, this learning of the Ari teaches us what our avodah is in life. Sometimes, just yesterday I was speaking to a guy, he's Rabbi, bless me. I hate those kind of requests. I don't even know what to tell the guy. He goes, for what? I want to be rich. I said, for what? I want to give lots of tzedakah. This was before the guy won the Mega Millions? I want to win. I'm going to give so much tzedakah. I'm telling you. I said, then how much tzedakah you gave this month? I don't have so much money. What do you mean you don't have so much? A person who wants to give tzedakah is going to give the shirt off his back. What do you mean a person who wants to give is going to give. A person who doesn't want to give, he could be a billionaire. He's not going to give. And is that what I'm saying? That's our avodah. Some person's avodah in life, says Dari, is to give tzedakah. Some person's avodah in life is to be a Talmid Chacham. Some person's avodah in life is to be a chazan. Some person's avodah in life is to be a mohen. Do you know the people from the Baba Sali's family? I read this. They were all mohalim, all of them. They used to do exact brit milah as the gematria of their name. Let's say the guy's name was David in the house of the Abu Chatzira. He used to do, David is 14. Only 14 Brit Milas he used to do. They used to ask him to be a Moed until he got to number 14. That's it. After 14, he would stop. But why? This is Sigulot, this, that. People used to come to our Avadi Yosef to be Sandak. How much we're going to give to be Sandak? We grew up, Bukharians grew up with this tfeka, we have to be Sandak. And if you don't get the Sandak, it's going to be Samech Mem. And it's Sandak. But this, it is a big thing. I'm not going to say it's not. It's a great thing. Of course, it's not worth a machloket. Of course. You understand? But when they used to come to our Avadi, said, be a Sandak. When he was already old in his life. Older. They used to say, we're going to come to your house, Rabbi. Your house. We're going to make the Brit Milah in your place. I don't want. Bitul Torah, I used to say, I can't. Every 5 seconds, somebody wants me to be a sandak to his kid. You know how many kids Rav Ovadia was sandak for? Thousands. You think everybody over there came out of Rav Ovadia? I'm sure they did not. Maybe there were some zuchud, yeah, but not all. I knew a guy that was Rav Ovadia was his sandak. Just me, he's no Rav Ovadia. I'm sure, yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. I'm not saying it's not, but we put so much stock. You're going to be like your sandak. You're going to act like your son. You're not going to be like the guy you grew up in. You're not going to be like your parents. No, that's not going to do anything. You're going to be like your sandak. You understand?
Well, you don't know about it.
Person one time, but be'emet, there's so many problems. When I used to be in the kollel of 71st, there was a lot of brit milas over there, and sometimes there was a big fights for the sandak. Sometimes there were big fights, and some rabbi has to really take this on his shoulder, make a nice 15-minute video, and just tell people the importance and tell them how to calm down, not to make machloka for such a thing, how it's not worth it. I knew a guy. I knew people. I remember when we were there, the father didn't come to the brit because he didn't want his father-in-law to be the sandak. It was crazy. It was crazy stuff over there. Chaval al azman. Anyways, back to that. So it's what do we see? A person has to know his job in life. What's that? You see, why do we love the Ari Hakadosh? Why do we love it? The Ari Hakadosh changed the meaning of Kabbalah. He changed the whole meaning. You know what Kabbalah was until the Ari? Huh? Baal Sulam was much later. It was much later. Until the Ari Hakadosh was what year? It was in the 1500s. 1500s. It was 500 years ago, after the Spanish Inquisition. That's when the Ari lived. 38 years he lived. Until the Ari, what was a Kabbalah? What was it? First of all, can I talk? What was Kabbalah? Kabbalah, first of all, was only taught to select people.
The elite.
Elite of the elite. Mamash was secret of the secret of like you like it was mamash like a discreet
Secret club.
Mamash like
The Templar.
lahavdil. And what was it? A lot of the times, you know what it was? Crazy fasting, no eating, no drinking, separating from your wife. You would still be married, but separating from your wife. Like mamash, you had to live a life of like
A monk.
like a mamash, a monk. Yeah, it's a mamash isolation, and most of it, a lot of it, was how to use God's names to do things.
Practical.
Like practical Kabbalah. How to use the 72. How did Moshe open up the sea? With the 72 letters of Hashem's name. He had a staff. Remember that staff he had? It was out of sapphire. Saphir. And that sapphire staff was etched in it 72 letters of Hashem's name. 72 letters. When he opened up the staff, he knew which 3 combinations he needed to have kavanah to open up the sea. Understand? Eliyahu Hanavi, how did he bring to life that boy who ended up being Yonah Hanavi? How did Elisha bring back Chavakuk? It says in the Navi, he went on top of his body. It was a formula. There was a formula to it. He used to put face to face, eyes to eyes, and they would know through the Shemot HaKodesh, they were very trained, how to take a part of his own neshama and put it inside the body. That's how they used to do it. With the Shemot HaKodesh. You understand? Hashem, by the way, Hashem wants that. If you are really a good vessel, Hashem wants you to use His names. It's called Kiddush Hashem. You're sanctifying God's name. You understand? On the other hand, there's Klipa. What's Klipa? Kishuf. Kishuf. Bilam. Kishuf. You understand? But the highest level of Shemot HaKodesh is to know how to use God's name to speak to God. You know what that's called? A Navi. That's a Navi already. Now to be a Navi, you have to know, as we learned in Sha'arei Orah, how to take your soul out of your body. And then you have to pass space. There is seven firmaments. You gotta get past space. Space has an end too. Only God has no end. After you finish space, that's Malchut Asiyah. Then you're gonna get to Yesod of Asiyah. You have to know how to get to Netzach Asiyah till you're gonna get to your Shorish Neshama. It could be in Bria, it could be in Atzilut.
So the Nevi'im do that?
Yeah, and they would know how to get to their specific source, where they came from. It's like going into a maze. Today, me and my brother William were in Williamsburg. I went there to pick up something. We went inside a shul. I had to use the facilities. So he's asked somebody, "Where's the?" In Yiddish, they say "Anschuldigs." Excuse me, it's "Anschuldigs." Next time you go to Williamsburg, remember "Anschuldigs." Okay, we went over there. "Anschuldigs." Where's the Beis Hakisei? Beis Hakisei. So we went over there. Go right. Go, Mamish, the shul has a base medrash, has 4 different shuls inside. From the outside, you couldn't tell. It has a mikveh in there. It has huge offices over there. There's a school in there. Till we found that Beis Hakisei over there, we were like in a maze. It was a maze. I told my brother when we were coming out, I said, imagine what a Navi has to go through to get to his place in Shamayim to get a Nevuah. You know what kind of maze it is over there? And if Chas v'Shalom you open up the wrong door, you're not going to come back out. Your Neshama stay. That's what happened to Ben Azai. Ben Azai and Ben Zoma, they went up with Rabbi Akiva and Elisha ben Avuya. Ben Zoma and Ben Azai, they both opened up the wrong doors. One died, one became crazy. Elisha became a kofer. And he turned into Acher. Besot Sitra Achara. Chas v'Shalom. His Neshama till today is coming back in Gilgulim. You never know, he could be sitting in this room. And every Gilgul, he goes through the same test. All of his life is a tzaddik, then he has a big test. Whether he's going to crash or he's going to get up again. Every Gilgul, he has the same test until the last nitzots of his neshama finishes. And then he gets to Tzorah Chaim. And he was an old man when it happened. He was an old man. So that's called a Navi. The Ari taught us something different. He says, listen, I'm not going to be a Navi. I want to be. I'm not going to be a Navi. You're not going to be a Navi. Huh? We had 48 prophets that we have their prophecies. Yeah, with their prophecies, the actual prophecies. 48 of them. But every generation, until the end of the first temple, we had every generation 600,000 prophets. We went through all of this. It was a school. There were schools.
And we know all the names?
Schools. How? No, we don't. We only know 48 of them. The last 3 was Chagai, Zechariah, and Malachi. And he ends his prophecy, Malachi, behold, I'm sending you Eliyahu Hanavi. That's how he ends. That's why we all are crazy about Eliyahu Hanavi. Yeah, why are we saying Eliyahu Hanavi so much? That's how the last prophet ends his prophecy.
So without him, no connection.
Yeah, exactly. So now how am I going to learn prophecy again? Because to bring Mashiach, how am I going to know he's Mashiach? How am I going to know? I'm Mashiach. I need a Navi. You understand? Only Eliyahu Hanavi could come back and say he's the true Mashiach. Yeah, approve. He has to give the confirmation. You understand? Not everybody could be a Mashiach over here. You know what I'm saying? We had a couple of those. One started a very nice religion, Baruch Hashem, Chas v'Shalom, but b'merchaot.
How do we know he's Eliyahu Hanavi?
He has to give a sign. Remember when Moses came, they said, what's the sign? So who did Moshe? You think Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the people and be like, I'm Moshe Rabbeinu?
No.
What is this? He's going to go to people doing backbreaking work on Moshe Rabbeinu and he's going to say, Pakot, Pakadati? This is not a joke, guy. That's the way we learned it in kindergarten. The real way how it happened, he went to the Sanhedrin. He went to the Zkenim. They tested him. You know, Aaron prophesied in Mitzrayim?
Yeah,
it's a pasuk in Ezekiel.
Met him, no?
Yeah, and he met him too. But it's a pasuk in Ezekiel. Aharon prophesies in Egypt.
Who met who?
Aharon prophesies to Am Yisrael that they're gonna go through bondage. that they're gonna go through the galus of Mitzrayim. And the Zikenim, including Nachshon ben Aminadav, who's Aaron HaKohen's brother-in-law, they knew, the Zikenim knew that Moshe Rabbeinu was gonna come, that there was a ketz. Because remember, a couple of years before Moshe came, Shevet Ephraim got up, and they had a fake Mashiach. Shevet Ephraim. Yosef's children got up and said, let's leave Egypt. They left. And they were all decimated.
Right.
Obliterated, not
The bones.
decimated, obliterated.
They're the ones with the
They're the
bones.
ones in the Valley of Bones. Some say it was them, some say it was people who used to give loans in rebate. Rebate is the interest. Okay, so the Ari HaKadosh taught us something new. Something interesting, something new, something out of this world. The Ari HaKadosh taught us, and this, if a person lives his life like this, it's a different kind of life. To tell you what he taught us, I really have to tell you a story from the Rebbe Rayatz. The sixth Rebbe. The sixth Rebbe of Lubavitch, he used to fight a lot against the Russians. He was not pro-Russian. Lubavitchers don't like Russians. Sorry to break it to you. Excuse me. I'm sorry to break that to you. They don't like Russians. Why do they bring in Russian? Because they are Russian Jews. But they don't like Russians. The Russians still today have half of their library in the Kremlin, Shmemlin, I don't know what you call that over there. Yeah, they have it's going lawsuit, by the way, between them, this, that. I mean, who the heck they're gonna sue over there? Who's gonna listen to you? But whatever. So the Russians, so the sixth Rebbe of Chabad, the one we always go to daven by, Rav Yosef Yitzchak. He told his Hasidim, this is the generation of Mesirut Nefesh. Which means what? We have to kill ourselves to fight these communists. We have to go to Siberia. We have to go to the ends of the earth. We gotta teach Torah, teach mitzvot.
You also had Shluchim?
Shluchim, yeah. He was the original Shluchim.
Yeah.
But these weren't like these Shluchim. These guys were.
Soldate.
Yeah. One time, one of these Shluchim were caught. I forgot doing what. I think his name was something Wolf. So he gets to Siberia, and communists, what do you call it, the KGB guy asks him, why are you practicing religion? Because they're atheists. I don't remember what exactly he said, but this shliach, Rabbi Wolf or something, he gets up, if I'm saying his name right, and he was a big guy, and each finger of his was the size of a German sausage, and he gave this KGB guy such a shot that his head almost cracked. These kinds of people we're talking, these guys are the original shluchim. Not like today, they're putting on tefillin on the co-founder of Netflix and they're saying, oh, we're giving you a bar mitzvah. That's also very nice. But it's not, you can't compare, it's different generations. Okay? So the Rebbe Rayatz, that was his name. You know the co-founder of Netflix is Jewish. Yeah, he just got his bar mitzvah today. First time he put on his tefillin. Yesterday it was. He put on his tefillin for the
That's
first.
why the snacks were.
That's why the snacks are
13 years old.
The co-founder of Netflix is Jewish. All the
You gotta do
Chorban,
the-
all the Chorban comes from the Jews, guys. You didn't know that. Huh? Old guy. He's an elder. I don't know, maybe 60s.
60s.
Yeah, it looks like an older guy. So, anyways, the Rebbe Rayatz was once caught by the KGB. They they took him to they were about to send him to Siberia. You know that.
One-way ticket.
Yeah, one-way ticket. He got saved at the end. But one of the KGB guys, this big atheist Russian guy, gets up, takes a gun to the sixth eye to his head. He says, "Listen, here's gonna be your kivura." And Rebbe Rayatz looked at him, and I think whatever he said really defines how the Ari HaKadosh tells us how to live. And he put the gun to his head, and he said, and the Rebbe Rayatz looked at the guy, and he said, "Your gun doesn't scare me. It only scares people who have one world. We have two worlds. You could point that at me all you want. It's not gonna do anything." That word that he told him, it impressed that guy so much he didn't shoot him. And at the end he made it to America. He made it to America and he built over here the whole Lubavitcher movement again. It was because they were decimated. He started 770. Who's gonna start it? His father. He started 770. He was the one who brought everything together. His son-in-law, the seventh Rebbe, he just continued the movement. He brought it much bigger. He was very charismatic. Their seventh Rebbe. I don't know if you guys ever read his biography. It's a good thing. Instead of reading all the shtuyot and watching all the shtuyot that you guys have, I suggest 2 books to read. Number 1, a biography on the Rebbe. Any biography is good. It's an amazing read. And it's a book that I've always wanted to read, but I don't want to read because he was a very anti-religious Jew, but one of the earliest historians. He was Jewish. Yosef ben Matatyahu, also known as, say it, Yosef Flavius. I like when the Russians say Flavius. Josephus. He was I think I'm gonna this Tisha B'Av, I'm gonna finally I'm gonna get in there because he was a big kofer, you know that.
He was Kohen.
He was a Kohen. Yosef ben Matatyahu HaKohen, he calls himself Hashmonai. He was a Hashmonai. He's lying. He's not a Hashmonai. The Gemara says all the Hashmonaim died. So it's a very interesting read. Anyways, why did I say this with the Ari? The Ari teaches us one thing. Everything in this life is Yehudim.
Connection.
Everything, when I say there's no coincidence in this world, for example, it's Tisha B'Av is coming, right? Gabriel, is it coming? Yes or no? Gabriel, is it coming or no?
Hopefully Mashiach can be home.
Hopefully Mashiach, yeah, but you know what it really kills me? You know what really kills me? When all these rabbis, God bless them, great speakers, much better than me and everything, to the max. When they get let's rebuild the base, and it's always like that week before Tisha B'Av, let's rebuild the base HaMikdash, let's talk about Ahavas Chinam. And it's so cliche. Because, you look at it with an open mind. Yeah, we have to have Ahavat Chinam. But, who are you kidding?
Well, you're wrong.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, who are you kidding? Like, it's not Ahavat Chinam. You don't just wake up out of bed and be like, oh, let's have Ahavat Chinam. Ahavat Chinam is a lifelong thing. You reach Ahavat Chinam and somebody's going to come to you. Can I sleep over your house today? Sure, I have Ahavat Chinam. Come inside. Can you mind if I stay another week? Ahavat Chinam. Yeah, sure, stay. After a month, you're going to take the guy and you throw him out of your house. What do you, Ahavat Chinam? What do you stay? That's why the Torah has the mitzvah, the Choshen Mishpat. What? You can't impose on your neighbor's house. There's mitzvah. Ahavat Chinam. Ahavat Chinam. Ahavat Chinam is a code word where the Gemara said that the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of Sinat Chinam. You have to understand what that means. It's not that we have to all have take hands and sing the Kumbaya and go around in circles over here with those Hawaiian necklaces. That's not the way life works. Avodat Hashem doesn't work like that. You really have to tell what's Sinat Chinam. What was the Sinat Chinam?
Jealousy.
What was that?
Okay, jealousy.
That's what we learned in 5th grade.
Yeah, you guys.
It's like a person, like one time Rav Chaim Vital, when the Ari passed away for about 30 years, something like that, the Ari was coming to him in a dream, learning with him every night. Every night he was teaching him Torah. I'm going to teach you one kavanah today, guys. We're going to end the year with a kavanah because we can't leave the Ari Hakadosh without a kavanah. Am I right or wrong? And so one time Rav Chaim Vital, when he was supposed to be Mashiach, the Ari told him, you're Mashiach. He told him that. Now, just because he told him he's Mashiach doesn't mean he went out with a thing on my forehead, hey, I'm the Mashiach, everyone follow me. He waited until Eliyahu Hanavi came and said, listen, you got to do what you got to do. When he went to live in Yerushalayim. When he was in Yerushalayim, you guys know the famous story how he ran away because of Abu Sifin, the Syrian Pasha. He told him to open up the river that the Chizkiyahu Hanavi closed, and he didn't want to do. He used Shemot HaKodesh to run away to Damascus. That's where he died, in Damascus. Chaim Vital. And the Ari Hakadosh came to him in a dream and said, because you did that, you were supposed to fix the sin of Chizkiyahu by he closed the Silwan. That's the Silwan. If you put your head under the Silwan, your ear on the floor of the Silwan, by the Arabs, you're going to hear water under. There's water running over there. That's the water, that's the river that Chizkiyahu HaMelech closed because he didn't want Sancherib's armies to drink water. The Chachayim didn't agree with what he did. He told Rav Chaim that you were supposed to open it. Because Abu Sifin is Sancherib and you're Chizkiyahu. You were supposed to fix his Averah. He said, I didn't want to use Shemot HaKodesh. I didn't want to use God's name to open up the river. So he told him, you are right if you wouldn't have used God's names to run away to Damascus. You're already running away to Damascus using God's names. You might as well open a river. That's the Stam story that you guys heard. There's a deeper story. In Damascus, there is an Avodah Zarah called Bet Rimon. There's a house of Avodah Zarah called Bet Rimon. Whoever passes that house, just passes it, he's going to want to convert to Kritmach.
How's that?
There is such a tum'ah over there. When a person passes by that place, he'll want to convert. He'll want to just leave Judaism. He has a ruach tum'ah on him. Rav Chaim Vital, you know where he's buried? Right across the street. When he went over there to be buried, to break that klipa called Bet Rimon. The same way who was buried like that? Out of left field. Wow, he just got that. Yeah. Moshe Rabbeinu was buried right across the street from Bet Peor. You know what Bet Peor was? It was an avodah zarah that was made out of a golden toilet. It was in like a mouth of a man. You know, it came in different shapes and sizes, and you would just defecate in there. First, they would feed you a lot of dates to make you go adushi. Yeah, feed you a lot of food, and then they would just let it. That was the way you served avodah zarah. That's called Beit Peor, Baal Peor. Moshe Rabbeinu was buried across the street to break that avodah zarah of Beit Peor. And they say that many tzaddikim went to live in Italy after the Spanish Inquisition, like Ada Barbanel. He went to Naples, and then he was in very good contact with the Pope. That they want to be buried in Italy, in Rome, to break the avodah zarah of the Vatican. There's a lot of secrets over there why the tzaddikim used to do what they used to do. Anyways, the Hakadosh taught the Chaim Vital a kavanah. He was learning with him Torah every night in his dream. You know that is to see your Rebbe for 30 years. Unbelievable who these people were. The Ari said to Rabbi Chaim Vital that he's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He's from the Shorosh Nishma, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and Rabbi Chaim Vital was Rabbi Abba.
Chaim, that was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai?
Rabbi Chaim Vital was Rabbi Abba, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was the Ari Hakadosh. That's only one nitzotz. One nitzotz. The second nitzotz, that Rabbi Chaim Vital was Rabbi Akiva. Then and the Ari was Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol. You see how the tikkun is so deep. Even if a Rebbe didn't finish teaching the student everything that he's supposed to teach him, he's going to come back with him just to finish teaching him what he has to teach him. Then he's going to go. Because Rabbi Eliezer told Rabbi Akiva before he passed away, your death is worse than everybody's. You know what it is to comb a person's face off? To comb it literally with sharp, to just comb it off. It's I don't even want to think of it. It's like a horrible of horribles. Imagine. And then how his neshama came out, and they let him rot in the jail cell. They had to take him out. Yeshua Garcia, Eliyahu Navi. There's terrible things over there. But Rabbi Chaim Vital, he had to be taught from Rabbi. That's why it's so important when a person has a Rebbe to take all the information that you can out of him and show your loyalty. Because Rabbi Eliezer was very upset with Rabbi Akiva. Because remember, they put him in cherem, in excommunication. He said, you should have broken the cherem and come learn from me Torah. You should have broken the cherem and come learn from me Torah. Anyways, one time, Rabbi Chaim Vital's brother, Rabbi Moshe Vital was a higher neshama than his brother Rabbi Chaim Vital, but he lost his chokhmah. When he came back as a reincarnation, he lost his chokhmah. And Rabbi Chaim Vital writes, there's one avera that the Talmid Chacham has, that if he has this avera, when he comes back, if he has to come back, he's not going to be smart anymore in the Talmud Torah. He's going to lose that charifut. And Rabbi Chaim Vital writes, he doesn't want to write the avera. But Rabbi Shimon Agassi, whose yortzeit is coming up Thursday night, Rabbi Shimon Agassi, he writes what the avera was. And that avera is what the Talmid Chacham is mitga'eh. He has ga'ava in his Torah over the people. He's mitnaseh. You know what mitnaseh is? When he feels above them. Superior. I'm above you. I'm superior to you. It's not good. You believe in what?
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can fly. All right, don't fly. So let's learn the kavanah. It's very, That's why some people, they go to learn Torah. You see this in yeshiva a lot. The guy just can't learn. He wants to. His neshama is burning to learn a Tosfot. Until he doesn't cry his brains out, he's not going to learn. He's not going to get it. He needs to fight. Some people, they learn like magnets. You know what a magnet is? They just like mamash. It just comes in. It depends. Everything from the past Gilgul. What avera he did. Why is there a blockage? Why is, for example, also if a person in his last Gilgul was with Goyot, that also causes a big blockage to Torah. You need drainage. You know the drainage when you put inside the pipe to clean the sink?
Drano-Max.
Yeah, Drano-Max. You need some of that. It cleans all the drain over there.
That's zebra drain.
Yeah. Now I want to teach you guys one kavanah. One time, Rabbi zebra hunting. So one time, Rabbi Moshe Vital was very sick, and Rabbi Chaim or the Hakadosh taught Rabbi Chaim Vital what kavanah you could have in Shmona Yisrael to bring refuah shlema to sick people. You want to hear it? All right, let's get out of the Sidurim real quick. Not everybody doesn't have to get up. You bring Sidurim to everybody. The black books, please. Avodat HaKodesh. Bring me the Sidur. All right, thank you, Abraham. Zchut of the Ari Hakadosh Yagen Aleinu. Why do I love this kavanah? Because it was taught to Reb Chaim Vital after the Ari passed away. Let's see what this is all about. I like the sound of that. So, in the black books,
Page 360.
go to any Shmona Yisrael.
Abraham. On top, over there.
I'm, for example, in Shacharit. I'm in Shacharit over here, and it would be better with a board, I tell you the truth, but we're not going to take out the board. I'm in Shacharit, in the bracha of Refaenu. I'm in the bracha of Refaenu. In my book 163, on the bottom. Now guys, let me finish teaching the kavanah, and then ask me the 50 million questions. Okay? Okay. So we know in the 12 brachot in the middle, this is the time we ask Hashem for our own personal things. Now, really, whoever knows the secrets of the tefillah knows that these 12 things that you're asking for yourself, you're not really asking it for yourself. You're asking to make a tikkun in Shamayim, and then you're going to get the midah keneged midah, but you're not really davening for yourself over here. But let's say you are.
164, right?
63.
163 on the bottom.
Okay. Start.
Yeah. Now listen. Refa'enu Hashem v'nerafeh. Hashem, give us refuah shlema and we should be healed. Hoshi'enu, save us v'nivashea, and we should have saving. Salvation. Ki tilatenu ata, because you are our tehillah, you are our praise, you are our glory. V'ha'ale aruka. What's aruka? Aruka is when a person gets a cut. You know, when your skin starts to heal, that's called aruka. V'ha'ale aruka.
Scab.
You should grow a scab. You should grow your... if your person gets cut, he needs to grow it back. What do you think? What are you, the Wolverine over here? You need to grow it back, no? You're not going to regenerate like this. Regeneration is a very big thing in Shamayim. Yes or no? Yes, when I was a kid, I also watched the Wolverine. All right, I was born in America, not in Dushanbe. So, aruka. You have to person. Regeneration is a very big miracle. Mitosis, meiosis. All these things is a big miracle. And it's mitosis.
That's splitting us.
You had your joke?
Yes.
V'ha'ale aruka umarpeh, and healness lechol tachaluenu. To all of our tachaluenu is from the word choli. Choli is sicknesses. Ulechol machovenu. Machovenu is sicknesses that we have in our soul, like emotional sicknesses. Depression, dagot, yes, worries, addictions, chas v'shalom. Ulechol makotenu, and all of our dinim, makeh, all of our shatez that are coming to us from Shamayim. Over here, you can add a small prayer, like it says in the book. Here, I told you, Fanecha, Hashem, Gavotenu. Now you can add over here names. Tir Pa'eni, give me refuah shlema. You could add names over here if you want. That's a small prayer. Hashem, make me well so I could learn Torah.
You say this during?
Yeah, you could say it during the Refayim, for sure. Continuing. Kel rofer achaman v'ne'eman ata. You are a God. You are the doctor. You are Rofe is a doctor. Rahaman, you are free insurance. Hashem doesn't need insurance. Free. Yeah. V'ne'eman, you're a trustworthy doctor. Baruch atah Hashem, blessed are you Hashem. Now look in Hashem's name. You see there's a cholam on top. That's the Tiferet. That's the Sfirat Tiferet. You have to think that the Ein Sof is revealing himself through the Sfirat Tiferet right now. Baruch atah Hashem. Now look. Rofe, He's a doctor. Chole, of all the sick. Amo Yisrael, of the sick of the nation of Israel. Now look in the book. Interesting. He already does it for you. He makes the first letters of these last 4 words big. Big.
Resh.
Rofe is what? Reish. How much is Reish? Gabriel. Gabriel, how much is Reish? 200. 200. Chole, Chet, 8. Amo, 70. How much we have so far? 278. Yisrael is how much? 10. How much altogether? 288. Rapach mitzotzot. Now, jump your book to the end. Page 958. That's where the good stuff is. That was the introduction.
958.
Last 2 pages, yeah. Open your eyes.
Now, Baruch Ata Hashem, Rofeh Chole Amo Yisrael, says the Ari Hakadosh. This was taught to Rav Chaim Vital after the Ari's death, in a dream. It's brought down in Sidur HaRashash. Yikaven lerabach mitzvot shel hachole. When you say Rofeh Chole Amo Yisrael, have in mind the 288 sparks of that sick person that you're davening for. Let's say chas v'shalom, a person's spouse, his parent, a cousin, a friend. Have in mind that person, his 288 sparks, not yours. Shemehem ba'acholaim, because from those 288 sparks comes all the sicknesses. Ube'elu arapach, have kavanah with these 288. Sheyi kaven, have that kavanah. Sheyi toknu, they should be fixed, they should be uplifted. V'yit matku, they should be sweetened. V'yitrape hachole, and the sick person will have healness. Be'ezrat Hashem. What does that mean? Just in one sentence, what does that mean? From these 288 sparks come all the sicknesses. Every mitzvah that I do, teaches the Ari, I'm picking up 288 sparks. When the world was created, God first caused 7 sfirot, 7 vessels to crack. You understand? To create the Satan, pretend you have 7 glasses, 7 crystal glasses. Everything is fine, everything is perfect, right? But Hashem made the glass very small and the light very big. When there's too much light and the glass is too small, what happens to the glass? It explodes. The Ari teaches it exploded into 288 shards. Totally. But not 1 288. 2 billions of 288. Enough to last me 6,000 years.
System of 288.
A system of 288. Today's 288 is not yesterday's 288. When a person gets sick, because he didn't uplift through his mitzvot, the 288 that he was supposed to pick up today. How do you pick them up? Every mitzvah that you do, every avera that you don't do, you're picking up the 288 sparks. Now, my 288 is not your 288. Why? He picked up 288, but like he said, what's that? And is that like this? Like this is 288. So it's 288 that's missing a leg. Person goes, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Sha'akol Niya Bidvaro. His 288, he really picked it up. But let's say he says, Baruch Ata Hashem Adon HaKol HaOyeh Elokeinu Takif Bala Yacholet Melech HaOlam. 4 deaths. Sha'akol Niya Bidvaro. Oh, that 288, that's an atomic bomb over there. You understand? Now imagine that guy does that his whole life.
The water will come up itself.
That's how he becomes Kadosh. You understand? Now, your job is not my job. Maybe your job is to pick up the 288 like this. That's enough for you. But let's say your job is to do it like the other guy. Baruch Ata Hashem. Let's say that's your job, and you only picked it up, how you say, Chetzi Chetzi. Those 288 that you don't pick up, they're screaming to Hashem, like Hevel's blood was screaming from the earth. We want to be, it was his job to pick me up, and he didn't do that. So Hashem says, don't worry, I have a different way to pick them up. Yisurim. Sufferings. Every suffering, even when you put in you see, a Jew, his life is supposed to be clouds and chocolates. That's how his life is supposed to be. You're supposed to get out of your house. You want a car? You don't have to call Uber. It's supposed to come to you to your house. You want to eat? Man. You want water? Be'erah shel Miriam. That's how your life is supposed to be. Even if a Jew puts his hands in his pocket, instead of taking the quarter, he takes out the nickel, even that's Yisurim. And when a person falls on the bed, he's sick, the Gemara says he has to see himself as if the hangman's noose is around his neck. That's why we say Hagomel. Because hangman's noose is around his neck. It's Masechet Rosh Hashanah. You understand? If a person has din on his life, you should know in Shamayim right now is going on crazy dinim on the guy. His prosecutors and his defendants are going, there's a whole legal battle going on over there. You understand? And the more positive energies you're putting in over there, the more defendants you're making. If you do teshuvah, forget about it. That's like going in the back door. You understand? That's like erasing reality and making a new reality. You understand? Elul is coming up. That's why we do tikkunim. What's all those tikkunim for? A person, for example, has a lawsuit against him. It's a very scary thing. These lawyers, they charge an arm and a leg. Do you know why he has a lawsuit on him? Because in Shamayim, there's a huge din on the guy. Is that person gets sick? Chas Shalom, he finds out he has cancer. It's only stage 1. Baruch Hashem, he could take out the tumor. If he doesn't do teshuvah, it's going to come back to stage 2. Then it's going to get worse and worse. Sometimes we see tzaddikim, they have to suffer. Because there are some tikkunim you just can't fix. Those yisurim come from the 288 sparks. Now when a person is sick, it's because he didn't do his avodah, says the Ari. He didn't do his quota. That's exactly how it is. It's mamish like that. It's mamash like it. I couldn't have said it better. He didn't fill his quota. So what I'm doing through my kavanah, I'm fulfilling his quota for him. Yeah. When I say Baruch Atah Hashem, Rofeh Chole Amo Yisrael, by having kavanah, his rapach nitzotzot, I could help him get back up.
But he's your own source of your shorsh neshama, no?
Of course, it's only gonna help if you're connected to the guy. But trust me, if you're praying for the guy, you're connected to that guy. Trust me. Now let's look at the kavanah inside. Huh?
You're doing good. Why are you getting something?
Everything, for example, Job. What did he do that he went through what he did? He was with his wife while she was in Nida. That's what he did. That's what he did when he was Terach. That's all he did. That means for one time, who knows? Maybe it was one, but for that one Avera, who knows? But he saw Avodah Zarah. That does not count it yet. For just being with his wife Nida. Lost his wife, lost his kids, all 7 of them. I think 10, it was 10. 10 kids. He lost all of his money. He got boils. You understand?
Package deal.
But you know what? Job could have handled it. Hashem will only give you Yisurim that you can handle. He's not going to give you Yisurim that you can't handle. You understand what I'm saying? Hashem is not out there to get you. You understand? But you have the ability, this kavanot, these things helps you out. This is the job that you have to do in life. You understand? Of course. Yes, of course. If a person sees that he doesn't feel well, he could use these kavanot. Let's see how to do the kavanah. I'm not going to explain to you the whole thing. Let's start out. It's not long. This kavanah is a tricky one because it starts from the bottom up. Now when I say bottom up, here is the sefer. It starts from here, malchut to malchut. Over here. This is the real alternative medicine.
Where you starting from, say?
Good. Do it then. Over here. Malchut to malchut. That's where we start. Okay? You have in mind that first you pick up his sparks from the sphera of the malchut, and you think those are the letters, they represented by the letters Yud. Yud Hey, then Yud Hey Vav, then Yud K Vav K. Altogether it's going to be 72. Ab. Next one, go up the next level. Malchut de Tani. Tani is Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Pay attention, I'm taking up all the shchinas of the guy. All the pieces of his shechina that he was supposed to pick up, I'm picking that up for him. And I think Yud K Vav K, 26, plus 45. How much is that going to be? 71. 71 plus 1 is 72 again. Next, Malchut of the Gvura. Ariel, you paying attention? The Kavanah doesn't interest you?
Wait, but
It does. I'm not gonna apply because I'm already lost.
That's right now an example of a person that's not ready to pick up high level of Rapach Netzutzot. That's a prime example. Okay, understand?
Can you go back to
It could be out till tomorrow. That doesn't help.
Go
Understand?
back to the second
No, we cannot. Because I gotta do this quickly. Malchut de Gvura is the next one. You're picking up the Malchut of his Gvura. It's the same idea. It's all the same pattern, Abraham. There's two Shems over there. They're both the same. But one of them, you think it from the Gematria level, which is 72. And the next one, you think just the 10 letters. That means the 10 letters
just the actual
themselves.
letters.
63 plus 10 is 73. 73 is 72 plus 1. So I have 72, 72, 72. The last one is the easiest one, Malchut of Chesed. It's Shem Ab, which is 72 itself. 72 plus 72 plus 72 plus 72 is what? 288.
Why everything is malchut first?
Because all the cholaim, all of your averot, come because you didn't say Leshem Yechud Kucha Brechu Ushchinte. You didn't pick up the Shechina. La kama shchinta ma'afera. You didn't. The shchina is the malchut. You didn't fix the malchut. Letaken olam b'malchut shaddai. Where do we say that every day? In which part of the tefillah? Letaken olam b'malchut shaddai. Huh? Aleinu l'shabeach. We end the tefillah with it. You're going out to work. Remember, everything you're doing, say La kama shchinta ma'afera. L'shem yukcha b'ur shchinte. This is the first part of the kavanah. The second part, you see on the right side. The second part, you have 4 times the same name. Havaya and Shema. It's 72, 72, 72, 72. You have Kavanah, that's going to sweeten the 72 on the left side. The 4 72s on the left side.
Each one on its own.
Each one, exactly.
Corresponding.
It's corresponding one.
Not column.
You could do column 2. You could do columns 2. But this right side is called Rapach with the 288 mitzad hama. From the ma side is mematek the Rapach from the tzad malchut, and bezot Hashem yitbarach you could pick up that sick person's Rapach nitzotzot and you could send him refuah shlema.
So when you're in this stage, you're going to say the Sweden, you take the name.
The right side is sweetening the left side.
You don't have to say the
Yeah.
name, the person.
No, you don't read. You don't have to say the word. Just
The name
you,
is already there.
everything,
Think of the person.
Avram. Everything is in a person's thought. Everything is in the thought. Ever have it in your life? You wanted something, and suddenly, boom! The person just puts it in front of you,
No, I think our customer.
and the customer shows up. It's all in the mind. Everything is in the head. I said, listen, you guys are a bird of a feather. Anyways, this is the kavanah. I want to finish up. I want to say, everybody, we're in the 3 weeks. Kavanah, everything is good and nice, but sometimes to fix the rapach, nitzotzot, we also have to go through Yisurim. Now, the easy way to get out of suffering Yisurim is to bring them upon yourself. One way of doing that, Gabriel. I see you're in a very joking mood lately. Yeah, I see you're in a very joking mood lately.
That's good, no?
Don't be happy about it.
They do the Hashem is
One way of doing that is to hold your eyes from sleeping.
Don't sleep,
Back
guys.
to the tikkun.
Tonight is the Hakadosh's yortzeit.
Don't sleep.
Tonight, right now, at 1 o'clock, the rabbi and me, we're gonna be here. We're gonna do the hakafot like we did in Lubavitch again. We all need yeshuot. If it's zivug, if it's yiladim, if it's parnasa, don't think you're above it. Gabriel, look at me. Don't think you're above it, because you're not.
If the rabbis are doing it, it's the reason.
I was in a phone call with a person the other day. I told you this. FBI is after them. I want, maybe next time I'll read you the message that they sent me. Read it. They said to me, if I could rewind my life, how many things I would do differently. Now, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna force you. If the Mega Million winning ticket is in front of you, you don't want to take it, then you're just shoter. You understand? But I think if you want to be mamatik the deen, you saw the shul burn down in Queens. It's not a coincidence. In our community, that's the most visited shul, by the way. It's more than Keter Torah visited.
Yeah.
It's a non-stop shacharitz over there. Till 12 o'clock, they have shacharitz over there. From 6 till 12, straight shacharitz. Every 40 minutes. Every 40 minutes, shacharitz over there. Rabbi Friedman's shul.
That's really?
Yeah, it burned down. This past week, it burned down. It's a sign for us. It happened in our vicinity. We didn't do mituka dinim. And what? Our shul was flooded during the 3 weeks. That wasn't something too?
We stop.
It wasn't
Yeah,
dinim?
don't do it.
We have to be matik the din. And I want everybody to come, to try, and to bring yourself Yeshuot and the zchut of the Arish with Negen al Kulanu, Va'aleinu, Va'kol Amo Yisrael, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen. Don't run away, Birkat HaMazon. Rabbi Hananiah ben